Part 91. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 905. The port area is very busy lately. In the past, the commander still had time to accompany us, but now he is in the office almost every day and can't come out. Guanghui sat at the round table, holding the black teacup in his hand, looking out the window at the office area in the distance and said, "Yes, a lot of things have happened in recent times." Hood nodded and said, "From the beginning, Chongqing, Sardinia, to Donghuang, Royal, Iron Blood, Iris, and even the North, the Alliance, all the camps are struggling to support it now. If it weren't for the help of our fleet, I'm afraid the world would have collapsed long ago, right? Although the commander is right, we must serve as the flag bearers of this world, but now we have spread our power too far. Although each camp only sends one team there, the 8 camps combined, more than 40 and nearly 50 people were sent abroad. I always have a feeling that the Sirens want to disperse our power now, and finally combine their main force to target us." Guanghui said. "I don't think it will be the case. The commander is also guarding against this, so although there are so many ships dispatched, they are mainly elite and rare ships. Of course, I'm not saying that they are not strong, but most of the main level ships are now in the port area. The commander is also worried about the sudden attack of the Sirens, right? Otherwise, the distribution would not be arranged in this way." Sheng Sheng on the side said. "Common people, well, he should know what to do. Being able to combine so many camps together, I believe he has anticipated such a thing." Elizabeth coughed and said, "What I'm worried about is not this, but whether the commander's body can keep up. Although Belfast has been by his side to take care of him, the commander, alas," Guanghui said with a sigh. "Don't worry, the kitchen goddess and the vampire will often pick up the commander on time, so there is absolutely no problem with his body now," Hood said. "By the way, George V. and the others will be back today, right?" Elizabeth asked. "Yes, I heard that not only people from other royal camps are coming back, but the collection of combat data on scientific research ships has been completed. By then, our royal family will also have more maritime legends." Hood smiled, "the light cruiser Plymouth, Neptune, heavy cruiser Drake, plus the previous Monarch, and Cheshire. Our royal family has 5 scientific research ships." "Haha, after all, we are the royal fleet," Elizabeth said with a smile. "But as the ship conversion is about to be completed, I feel that the final battle is getting closer and closer. It is absolutely impossible for the Siren to let us prepare completely before fighting with us. It will definitely make some small moves by then." Guanghui said. "At this point we can only continue to wait." In the office, Qin Ji rubbed his sore eyes and just leaned up. "I felt a pair of warm hands pinching my shoulders, soothing my nerves." "Thank you." Before Qin Ji turned his head and said to Belfast behind him, "Master is the one who has been sitting here since morning. Why don't you get up and walk around? Sitting for a long time like this is not good for your health," Belfast said thoughtfully. Qin Ji thought for a moment and opened the file he had placed aside. "Logically speaking, Musashi and George V will be back today, right?" "Yes, if there are no problems on the way," Belfast replied. "They are very powerful ships in themselves. As long as the Arbiter does not dispatch, nothing can keep them," Qin Ji said and looked at the time. "Hey, is it already this time? Let's go to the port together to greet them and do some exercise," Qin Ji said. "Miss Enterprise has already prepared the reception work. There is no need for the master to run so far. It is better to just walk around the office and wait for them to report," Belfast said. "Let's go there. Anyway, the morning's work has been almost done, and they are not too tired now. They have been outside for so long, and they will feel better if they can see me greeting them when they come back." Qin Ji said. "Haha, the master is still like this." Belfast released his fingers from holding Qin Ji's shoulders. "Then I will accompany the master for a walk." Qin Ji stood up with a smile, then we'll trouble Belfast. While talking and laughing, the two left the office and walked towards the inner port. Although it is said that the port is a certain distance from the office area, it is actually not too far because the inner port is right next to the port area. After walking for more than 10 minutes, the two of them arrived at the inner port. As soon as they arrived, they saw the busy figure of the company. "Hey, Commander, why are you here?" The company quickly noticed Qin Ji's arrival and quickly came over and asked him. "The review of the previous documents has been completed. Looking at the time now, I guess George V and the others are coming back soon, so they are ready to come here to greet them," Qin Ji said with a smile. "Didn't you say you have me? Commander has been busy all morning. Let's take this time to take a rest," Enterprise said helplessly. "Haha, you can't take any time off. And I think if they see me here to greet them when they come back, they will be happier," Qin Ji said with a smile. Enterprise couldn't help but laugh. They will indeed be a lot happier, but if they know the current situation, they will be like me and hope that the commander can take a rest when there is more light. "Well, I'm not that fragile yet, don't worry. This is much better than when we fought together before. With such a small workload, I can still support it," Qin Ji said. "Well, now that the commander is here, I can't ask you back, right? Then wait here for a moment. According to the information just sent back from the patrol post, they are almost here." Enterprise smiled. Sure enough, just as the company said, I didn't wait long here before I saw several command ships slowly entering the harbor at the entrance of the inner port. They went all the way to the dock and stopped the ship, and then figures one by one walked off the command ship. Although some of these figures looked tired, everyone felt less tired when they saw their companions greeting them and Qin Ji who stopped and smiled not far away. At this time, two figures quickly came to Qin Ji, smiled at Qin Ji and said, "Commander, we are back. Well, thank you for your hard work. Welcome back to Hong Kong. My ship girl, my world." Author, Huangming Mu. Chapter 906. It has been some time since Musashi and others returned. During this period, all matters in the port area have gone smoothly. Although various camps still send back news of siren attacks from time to time, with the coordinated defense composed of Qin Ji's fleet girls net, the war today has tended to ease. That's all the documents for today, right? Qin Ji rubbed his swollen temples, closed the documents at hand, and looked at Weiser aside. "Yes, Commander, take advantage of this time to rest," Weiser nodded. Qin Ji breathed a sigh of relief. At this time, Belfast walked behind him very consciously and began to help him massage his shoulders and neck. At this moment, the office door was suddenly pushed open, and a pink figure broke in. Looking at Qin Ji who was enjoying the Belfast massage, he said loudly, "Humph, I knew you were lazy here again. If you can't be the commander, you can leave that position and replace me with this lady." Qin Ji couldn't help but roll his eyes when he looked at the figure in front of him, Prince Ruprecht, the high-speed battleship planned by iron-blooded Greek originally. He thought that Iron-Blood's skills were relatively stable and calm, until he built her. "You are the one who claims to be the commander, Humph. You are not the commander, that position belongs to me. Move aside quickly." This was the first thing Prince Ruprecht said after meeting Qin Ji. Then, there is no more. Because as soon as she said these words, she found that several swords were already placed on her neck. "Humph, as a ship's wife, you are actually rebellious and I can't let you go. There is only one commander in charge of this port area, and that is the person in front of you, who is the commander's personal guard. I cannot pretend that I didn't hear what you just said." Prince Ruprecht was stunned at the time. She didn't expect that her casual words would cause such a big reaction. And judging by the looks of the girls holding swords and ships, if the man in front of them nodded, they would chop him down without hesitation. In the end, Shinji smoothed things over and made Musashi and Vanguard put down their swords. Otherwise, the power of the ship might really scare Prince Ruprecht in front of him. But since then, Prince Ruprecht has become more honest. At least he won't give Shinji any shame in public, but in private, that's another story. Didn't I ask you to go to the university hall to study? School shouldn't be out at this time, right? Why did you come here? Shinji rubbed his head and said with a headache. He's really not good at dealing with these tsundere characters, especially these bitches. I am the greatest and most powerful lady. I don't need to study. Prince Ruprecht's eyes were obviously a little dodgy. Shinji said helplessly, did you get into trouble again? No. How could I get into trouble? Prince Ruprecht felt even more guilty. Shinji looked at Wiser and said, please contact Mikasa, who is in charge of the academy, and ask what is going on. Yes, Commander. Wiser turned around and was about to make a call. Seeing this scene, Prince Ruprecht became a little anxious. I told you, I didn't get into trouble, why don't you believe it? And now you actually contact the dean, do you really treat me as a child? Shinji smiled and said, I don't treat you like a child, but I need to understand the situation. Do you think that as a commander, you only deal with these battles and other matters? Your food, clothing, housing, and transportation, your mood, your interpersonal interactions, your mental state, everything about you and the port area are within the scope of the commander's work. If you believe that you are better than me and can be a commander, then it means you are still far from there. Humph, you are obviously jealous of me, Prince Ruprecht said arrogantly. At this moment, Wiser turned around and looked at Shinji. Commander, I just received a reply from the dean, saying that Ruprecht seems to have no friends in the school. It is activity time now, and she may be bored. Just ran here. How can I have no friends? That is pure rumor. Egil, yes, Egil is my friend, Prince Ruprecht retorted anxiously. Shinji rolled his eyes at this scene. He finally knew what was going on. He couldn't help but reached out and patted Belfast's hand. Belfast immediately understood and stopped the massage. He stood up and said to Weezer, I'm going to the college. If you have any urgent documents, call me at any time and I'll be right back. Or just go to the college with the documents and find me. Understood, Commander, Weezer replied. Shinji nodded and said to Prince Ruprecht, let's go, I'll take you back to the academy. Prince Ruprecht was obviously hesitant. Let's go, why are you standing here stupidly? You are the one who wants to replace me, why don't you dare to face this matter in person, Shinji said with a smile. Wherever I dare not face it, just leave, Prince Ruprecht said with a snort. But after all, she did not walk in front of Shinji, but followed Belfast and walked behind Shinji. The university hall is located in the east of the port area, quite far from the office area. It is precisely because of this that Prince Ruprecht came to him alone during the break, so Shinji decided to make such a trip in person. In fact, for Shinji, Prince Ruprecht's intentions are not bad, but his personality is a bit arrogant. Although she said she could tolerate such a temper, other ship girls would not approach such a person who casually said bad things about the commander. Perhaps it was for this reason that what happened now happened. The port area is also a small society. What lives here is not a group of mechanical warships. Without the shell of the warships, what lives here is a group of thoughtful girls who have their own independent thinking. Therefore, the relationship between each other must be handled carefully, otherwise you will suffer big losses if you are not careful. And such a situation also requires Shinji to intervene. After all, as a parent in the port area, he has the obligation to do these things. Prince Ruprecht didn't say much along the way. Maybe she knew she had done something wrong, but she just followed Shinji closely. The way he followed every step made Qin couldn't help but raise the corner of his mouth. When I arrived at the academy, I found that class was already in session, and the lecturer of this class was Raiders. When she saw Qin standing at the door, she quickly stopped teaching and ran over. "Commander, why are you here?" the attacker asked in surprise. "Oh, I'm here to send you a student." Qin smiled, then turned to look at Prince Ruprecht, who was hiding behind the pillar. "Why are you so shy?" This lady is not shy. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 907. Oh, it turns out it's Ruprecht. I just said he wasn't there when the roll call was just taken. It turns out you went to find the commander. The attacker smiled. Prince Ruprecht was stunned. Just when he was about to be arrogant, he was interrupted by Qin. "When you see the teacher, you must apologize properly," Qin said. Why should I apologize? Don't." "Okay, I understand." Prince Ruprecht wanted to retort, but looking at Qin's half-smiling look, he still apologized to the attacker. "I'm sorry, I shouldn't be running around during my break. Is this okay?" Qin smiled and said, "Although there is not much sincerity, at least I apologized, which is considered a good performance." The attacker nodded. The commander is right. As long as he knows his mistakes and can correct them, he is a good boy. By the way, what classes are the attackers taking now? Qin asked. "Air defense and anti-submarine," the attacker replied. "I remember there should be a curriculum for classes in the commander's office, right?" "It's not that there should be, but there is indeed." Qin nodded, "but there are a lot of things lately, and I don't have time to look at the class schedule. By the way, how many people are taking classes now? Are they from our port area or others?" "Under the command of the commander. There are about 200 people in class today, most of them are from our port area, and there are only a few dozen from other commanders," the attacker replied. "Well, while I have time now, I will come to the lecture hall and take advantage of one of your classes. There are some things I want to tell you," Qin said. "Commander, do you want to go to class?" "That would be great." "They miss your class very much during this time," the attacker smiled. "Well, I don't know if I can finish this class. Anyway, let's take it first and then talk about it," Qin said. "Well, then I'll inform everyone," the attacker said. "No need to bother, let's go in together," Qin said, and walked in with the attackers. "Hey, Commander." Sure enough, all the ship ladies in the lecture hall were surprised when they saw Qin suddenly walking in. "Hey, good afternoon, everyone." Qin stood on the podium, looked at the ship girls below and smiled. "I just made an impromptu decision to stand here and take up some of the attackers' time today, because I think there is something I must say to everyone. It doesn't matter. As long as the commander is giving the lecture, we all like it." "Not far away, Javelin stood up and said with a smile. "Ha, as long as you like it." Qin nodded and looked at Prince Ruprecht, who was still stunned. "Go sit down and listen to the class." "Oh." At this moment of public attention, Prince Ruprecht obviously did not dare to contradict Qin, and obediently walked over and sat down next to Egil. "So, you ran to him before?" Egil glanced sideways at Prince Ruprecht. "Humph, so what?" Prince Ruprecht grinned. "No, I just suddenly thought, maybe he is the only one in the whole port area who can tolerate your temper." A trace of ripples appeared at the corner of Egil's mouth. "You're so annoying." Qin turned around and wrote the words "companion, port area, home" with chalk on the blackboard behind him. After finishing writing, Qin looked at everyone, threw the chalk into the chalk box, clapped his hands and said, "I believe you have heard this concept many, many times, but now, taking advantage of this free time, I still want to mention it again. This lesson is not just for you, but also for myself. Perhaps everyone should know by now that I am different from other commanders in this world. I come from another world. When I first came to this world, I was actually confused and entangled. Whether it was a coincidence or looking for a way home, I finally became a commander. What were my thoughts when I summoned the first ship girl? Excited and longing. In fact, what I felt the most at the beginning was actually feeling down to earth. It's not easy to be alone, especially in a completely unfamiliar world. No one understands you, and you can't tell others about some of your things. The feeling should be that of loneliness among a group of people. But all of this slowly disappeared from my body as I summoned you. This is also the first time that I understand what companionship is. You are my partners and my companions, and it is also the first time that I have a so-called bond with this world. For the first time, I feel that I am not alone in this world, because you are with me, because there are always people walking with me. Later, the number of us gradually increased, and we all had various personalities. Some were resolute and decisive, others were as gentle as water, and each one was so unique and so dazzling. I really like the feeling of being with you all, especially when facing each of you as different people. So in order for us to live together more harmoniously and happily, we formed Minato City. Although you are all ship girls and warships, the place where you are anchored is called the port area. But I think the more important reason why this place is called the port district is because it is the harbor of the soul for all of us. No matter after experiencing a battle outside or going to a distant place, when you come back here, you can always put down all your burdens and enjoy a sense of relaxation and comfort without any restraint. So I prefer to call this place home, and you are all my family and the most important people to me. We laugh together, grow together, fight together, and there seems to be no place more intimate than here. For me, this port area and this home are my world, and you are also my world. So I hope that everyone can cherish this place where we can relax, and I also hope that everyone can cherish the companions around us, because those people are your world. Maybe I'm more suitable to talk about tactical battles and the like, but it feels weird for me to say such sensational words. But I believe everyone understands what I mean, especially at this most critical time. The war is not far away from us. I don't know how many peaceful days there are left. But I hope that everyone can cherish it, interact well with everyone, have their own bonds, and have their own world. When Shinji said this, a bell suddenly rang. He wanted to hang up the phone, but when he saw that the number was the office number, he picked up the call without hesitation. I'm the commander, what happened? Reporting to commander, the communication room just sent a message that there has been an invasion of agents in our waters. Shinji was startled. How many troops does the opponent have? Is anyone going to investigate now? Yes, White Eagle Enterprise has already gone, but the strength of the troops is unknown now. The other party detected our detector and destroyed it as soon as possible. Inform the current camp leaders that I will be back soon. Shinji hung up the phone and glanced at the nervous people. I'm afraid a battle is coming. My ship girl, my world. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 908. When Shinji hurried back to the office, leaders of several camps had already arrived. Commander. Yet Shinji nodded and sat down. What's the specific situation now? Weezer took a step forward and turned on the projector, and an image appeared in front of everyone. This was obviously a video taken by a detector. On the originally empty sea surface, several spatial distortions suddenly occurred. A figure suddenly appeared on the sea surface, and then a ray of light struck, and the entire scene fell into darkness. I compared the figure appearing in this image and confirmed that it is the Agent Exploration J registered in our top secret files in the port area, which means exploration. Subordinate to the Arbiter Hermit 9 Weiser said to Shinji said to a group of ships. This figure is indeed familiar. King George V nodded, then looked to New Jersey aside. Why are you here? Where is your company? The company has already gone to check. If there is not too much contact, I believe they will come back soon, Weezer explained to King George V. So it's just like Weezer said. New Jersey smiled. Qin Ge did not look at the people chatting, but looked at Weiser. Where is the Ember? Notified, I believe it will be here soon, Weiser said. Sure enough, not long after he finished speaking, Helena of Ember appeared in the office. Let's start when everyone is here. Qin Ge looked at the number of people and then looked at Helena. So what's going on? The Arbiter has returned to the world and summoned the agent. Declare war on us. Rather than declaring war, I feel it's more about putting pressure on us, Helena said with a smile. Although that agent only belongs to Hermite, the way it appeared was obviously Tempala signal blocking means and stealth technology. If Hermit and Templar have appeared, then Strinkus must also be in this world. The three of them usually don't go too far away, because the combined field of the three of them is very powerful. I think that if war is declared, at least an arbiter should appear, not an agent. Therefore, the information brought back by the company this time will probably end without any problem. Because when the company went out, Fei Long had already gone out. Qin Ge nodded. In that case, let's wait until the company comes back. There was always the sound of low-pitched discussions in the office. It was not until the company's figure appeared at the door that the sound gradually subsided. Commander, when I arrived at the scene of the accident, I didn't find anything unusual. Except for the destroyed detector on the sea, there was no suspicious situation. Enterprise frowned and said. Qin Ge nodded. Based on what we have learned so far, it is certain that the Arbiter is in this world now, and this time he actively sent his agents to destroy our detectors in order to attract our attention. But is this really their purpose? Just to put us on alert? And then maintain long-term combat readiness? There is too little useful information available now to draw any conclusions. Commander, do you think we should take the initiative or stick to the defense? Musashi asked. I feel that taking the initiative now will not solve any problems, because we don't know where the enemy will attack from or where the enemy's base is. Taking the initiative to attack is equivalent to missing the target, and it will also expose more flaws. Let the enemy attack. Therefore, I prefer to stick to the defense, notify other camps through communication towers, and keep the ships in other villages and camps vigilant at all times to convey more and more detailed intelligence. Strengthen patrols in the defensive areas of the port area and deploy more detectors. We need to be on guard against the enemy and at the same time try our best to use this last period of time to improve our own strength. Of course, sticking to the defense does not mean that we will not take any action. The Embers have a lot of experience in fighting the Arbiters, so the next work of collecting intelligence is left to you. I want to know as soon as possible what the purpose of these Arbiters is. Where is the current stronghold, what kind of actions will be taken next, and other information. If all this is understood, coupled with the current strength of our port area, I think when the time is right, maybe we can also take the initiative. Qin Ge said. I agree with the commander's opinion. It is indeed too risky to take the initiative now. What's more, we don't know the direction of the enemy at all, and if this attack is just a bait, then we are equivalent to sending ourselves out to others' beat. Therefore, after mastering more information, wait until the analysis results are available, and take the initiative to go out at that time. The effect will be much better than now. Richelieu said. Indeed, and the current combat power in the port area is not yet complete. The newly summoned scientific research ship girls are undergoing training and cannot form effective combat power in the front. It is obviously unwise to start a war at this time, even if it is we have to endure the other party's provocation now. We must accumulate strength, and then throw out this punch, otherwise this punch can only hit the air and injure ourselves instead, Genhai said with a smile. Qin Ge nodded. Since you all agree, let's make follow-up arrangements. As mentioned before, it's up to you to find Helena's Ember's purpose, tactics, and strongholds as much as possible. As for the Enterprise, work with the Northern Alliance to strengthen patrols in the port area. If necessary, other camps can also follow your orders to dispatch. In addition, we will notify other camps and the ships we have left behind in other camps to be vigilant within their sphere of influence. Unless there are special circumstances, they must not enter the territorial waters to avoid being defeated one by one. The scientific research projects of other camps in the port area must be put on the agenda and try to produce more useful scientific research results before the battle begins. Because it is very likely that the next battle will be a decisive battle. After all, the Arbiter has given us a chance before, and he will definitely not give us a chance this time. And as our strength slowly increases to the maximum, the next attack will also be the most effective. Understood? All the ship girls nodded and said. Okay, let's make arrangements first. If there is any situation, report it to me as soon as possible, Chin Ji said. Yes, Commander. After a while, all the camp leaders left the office. Seeing the office become quiet again, Chin Ji couldn't help but frown. Upon seeing this, Belfast walked to him again and started massaging him. Master, don't think too much. I believe the car will find its way to the mountain. Well, maybe, but this incident also reminds us that it's not time to relax yet. Yes. My ship girl, my world. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 909. You're back. In the Ember building at night, Helena, who was looking through the photo album, glanced at the window. There was a figure standing there. It was Fei Long, who mentioned leaving in the office during the day. Yeah, Fei Long nodded, sat down opposite Helena. How's it going, Commander? What else can we do? Helena put away the photo album. With the cooperation of Hermite and Templarus, and with their communication methods, there will definitely be no gains. The current established strategy of Minato is to defend and counterattack, activating a surveillance network coordinated by multiple camps. They will not take the initiative easily until their purpose is discovered. But what's going on over there? Why did a proxy suddenly appear here? Isn't it more than half a year before the attack can be launched? Did something happen over there? Fei Long sighed. What could have happened? It's just that when Dreamweaver checked the Laplace demon's calculations, he found that the best attack time had moved later, so he judged that our port area was a little slack, so he let Hermit and Templarus team up to do this. Helena smiled. That's it? That's it, and when I asked Dreamweaver about it, her serious expression really made me speechless. In fact, I feel that our port area is getting stronger very quickly, even faster than before. But why did they say the attack time would be postponed? Fei Long said helplessly. Helena thought for a while. Maybe the biggest reason is that our current front line is too long, right? Impossible. The commander has already planned to lead other camps in this world. There is absolutely no way Laplace Demon can ignore this. It must be due to other reasons, but I asked Dreamweaver, she didn't know the specific reason. However, she told me that our commander is the same type of person as he once was, and it is impossible to generalize with common sense. But in order to make the plan proceed normally, we can only do it like that. Fei Long said. Yes, there are too many variables, and even Laplace's demon's calculations cannot be predicted. Helena narrowed her eyes. Then will something like this happen again in the future? It is impossible for the commander to become a frightened bird, right? If this is the case, then our name of Ember will be in vain. No, but in order to coordinate with the performance, they will set up a stronghold in the southeast and arrange 2 agents, Fei Long said. Haha, it's really a whole show, and I've even thought of a way out, Helena said. Well, doing this can relieve the commander's worries, and can also have a vigilant and stimulating effect, Fei Long said. Then let's arrange it like this and wait until tomorrow to notify the commander, Helena said. Good. In the office the next day, Qin Ji couldn't help but nodded while listening to the reports from Helena and Fi Long. Thank you for your hard work, Fi Long. Can you confirm that the agent who came yesterday is at that stronghold? Yes, I have detected it. The aura of the agent in that stronghold is consistent with the aura of the agent left in the sea area yesterday. Therefore, it can be judged that the agent who invaded the sea area yesterday is from that stronghold, Fi Long said. So there are only 2 agents in that stronghold? Isn't there the arbiter behind the scenes who controls the agents? Qin Ji asked. No, and I found that there are some devices left by Hermit and Templars in that stronghold, so it can be judged that the arbiter has not appeared in this world at present, and the agent uses the devices left by them to take action. And the opportunity for them to carry out this may be because of the order sent by the arbiter. Fi Long said without changing his expression. Qin Ji nodded. Maybe this is the only explanation now, but it is not suitable to leave that stronghold there, in order to avoid similar things like this from happening in the future. Do you think if I order the destruction of that stronghold, will it attract the arbiter? I don't think so, Helena said. Currently, there is no trace of the arbiter in this world. It can be judged that the arbiter was stumbling in other worlds, so he harassed him in this way. Moreover, our port area is also one of the absolute targets of the arbiter. There will always be a battle in the end, so there is no need to worry about arousing the arbiter's anger. Knocking out their eyes in this world will also benefit our future development. When the time comes to allow them to come into this world, we can catch them off guard. Fi Long said. Qin Ji nodded, indeed, but since we are facing the agent this time, you don't need to take action for the time being. I can just arrange for someone to go. The commander is too outspoken. Otherwise, we can do this. We will investigate nearby to avoid unexpected situations, Helena said. Qin Ji smiled and said, then you can just raid the formation nearby. This time can be used as an opportunity to train troops. Although there is a big difference between the agent and the arbiter, the attacks are equally sharp, so none of them have seen the agent. People, you should also feel this kind of battle. This is a very good idea. I suggest bringing all the newly summoned scientific research ships with you this time. They are very good combat forces and should be tempered, Helena suggested. Well, okay. Qin Ji nodded and turned to look at Weezer, inform Bailong, Eggle, Plymouth, Drake, Brest, Azuma, and other newly summoned scientific research ship girl, as well as Aquila, Roma, Key, Tosa, Miss City, Ingram, Perseus, Albion, Lutzow, Prince Adalbert, Yingrui, Yitsin, Volga, Soviet Belarus, Terrible, Sci-Fi. Let them prepare supplies, prepare for battle, and gather at the port. Yes, Commander. Weezer quickly turned around and went to prepare. By using so many ships to deal with a stronghold, is the commander making a fuss out of a molehill? Fi Long said, although our port area does not lack supply resources, is this a waste of combat power? Qin Ji smiled and said, when you need to waste, you have to waste a little. They are the backbone of the port area and will definitely be on the front line of the attack in the future. The purpose of letting them participate in this battle is not just to destroy the stronghold. So simple. What's more important is to familiarize them with the way the agents attack and how we fight. Therefore, while maintaining absolute safety and only wasting some resources, it is really a very cost-effective deal. Okay, this calculation is indeed more cost-effective. Fi Long nodded. Qin Ji stood up with a smile, then I'll help you this time. It doesn't matter, this is Minato's operation, and we are also participants. Helena smiled. Then let's go to the port together, Qin Ji said. Yes, Commander. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Mu. Chapter 910. Okay, I understand, I'll inform them right away. Mikasa quickly put down the phone, and Nagato looked up in confusion. Mikasa-sama, what happened, are you so anxious? The commander has an order, ordering all the new scientific research ships to gather at the port, and they need to attack, Mikasa said. Yesterday's representative, Nagato asked. Other than this, there is no reason to attack. The other 9 camps are all under our surveillance, and there is nothing going on with them. Nagato, you watch here first, I will go down to the lecture hall, Mikasa said. Yes, Mikasa-sama. Mikasa hurriedly arrived at the lecture hall in a short while. After seeing Pennsylvania, who was in class from the door, she walked straight in. Dean Mikasa, what's wrong? Pennsylvania stopped the lecture and looked at Mikasa, who walked in the door. Commander's order, Mikasa said. Understood. Pennsylvania nodded, then walked off the podium. Please, Dean Mikasa. Thank you. Mikasa was polite and stood on the podium directly under everyone's gaze. After receiving the commander's order, those whose names I read below should prepare for combat immediately. Gather at the port of the port area. The commander is waiting for you there. White Dragon, Izumo, Azuma, Egel, Odin, Prince Ruprecht, Ron, Mainz, Anchorage, Neptune, Plymouth, Drake, Brest, Champagne, Marco Polo, Chi Karloff, Riverside. Dean Mikasa, are you about to attack? Izumo asked as he stood up. Yes, this is your first time to attack, but I believe you will do well. There is no need to ask any other questions, the commander will answer it for you when the time comes, Mikasa said. Yes. In response, everyone immediately left their seats and walked towards the door of the classroom. Everyone has an excited expression. Although their days at the Fleet Academy are very leisurely, they hope even more that they can gallop on the sea and carve proof of their arrival in this world. After replenishing supplies and equipping the ship, everyone was soon ready to attack. When everyone arrived at the port excitedly, they found that Shinji had been waiting here for a long time, and a group of ship girls had gathered around him. Are you all here? Shinji looked at Weiser and asked. Weiser glanced at the ship girl present and responded quickly, Yes, Commander. Shinji nodded, Well, although the preparation speed is a bit slow, you are still expected. Everyone couldn't help but lower their heads. Although it happened suddenly, they were not prepared for the attack at all, but their commander would say so. Although the overall situation is now under our control and there are not too many threats in the port area, I hope you will not forget the awareness of combat readiness. War can come at any time, and the enemies we face do not allow us to relax in the slightest. This is the first time, but I hope it's also the last. That's all for this matter, let's talk about the war next. Shinji paused for a moment. You must have heard about what happened in our sea area yesterday. Agents under Arbiter Hermit appeared in our defense area and destroyed our detection device. Although other than that, apart from this, there was no act of vandalism, but we cannot ignore this sheer provocation. The flying dragons from the embers in our port area also followed the agent and tracked their stronghold. Although there is no arbiter there, other agents are found there. So the goal of our attack this time is to destroy their stronghold and sink all those agents. And this time, you can also see that most of the people I selected are scientific research ships that have recently joined the port area, as well as newly summoned ship girls since we completed the last Siren Tide. The reason why I chose you is because you are the backbone of our port area in the future and also represent the top force of our port area in the future. But compared to the ship girls I had before, the long-term peace has left you with very little combat experience. Most of your experience against the enemy was in exercises, or on patrols and battles with Siren mass production fleets. In the process. But relying on such experience is not enough to deal with the agent. It is precisely because of this that I will let you form such a huge fleet this time to attack a stronghold. In terms of your firepower, it is more than enough to deal with those agents, but the most important thing is to learn how to fight the agents. This kind of experience is what you are missing. Because what we will face in the future is no longer simply an agent, but more of an arbiter. Their firepower will be more intense, their combat skills will be richer, and they will also have the ability to jointly enhance their combat power. This is the specific situation this time. Next, you will go to that stronghold under the leadership of Fei Long. The flying dragon will watch your battle as a bystander and guard against the arbiter's sudden attack. You are solely responsible for this battle, as well as the arrangements for the flagship. Qin Ji paused and looked at Yuxian. Yuxian, as the leader of Donghuang, you serve as the flagship of this operation. All tactical arrangements and personnel arrangements are all decided by you. Yes, Commander. Yuxian nodded and said. Qin Ji nodded, I will wait for news of your triumph in the port area. When you return victorious, I will let the port area prepare a celebration banquet for you. Qin Ji's words cheered everyone up. The previous depression and loss completely disappeared, and instead they felt a little eager to try. Okay, let's go. Yes, Commander. Following the crisp answer, everyone jumped into the water from the port and formed a formation to sail out of the port according to Yuxian's arrangement. Qin Ji turned to look at Fei Long. Then I have to ask you to take more care of them for this operation. It doesn't matter, and looking at them like this, there's nothing they need me to take care of, Fei Long said, but don't worry, I will bring them back safely. Good. Fei Long nodded, then turned around and jumped into the water, catching up with the fleet in front, and then sailed towards the outside of the port area. Did I go too far with what I said before? Qin Ji turned around and walked towards the port area and said. Haha, is that okay? Helena said with a smile. Commander, have you ever realized that you love them too much? Is it normal? Qin Ji touched his nose. So, the commander still loves them a little too much. In a situation like this, we must maintain constant combat readiness. Once an emergency occurs, we can set off immediately without extra preparation time, Helena said. If we are all in this state, how can we talk about saving or changing the world? Haha, okay, I will be stricter in the future. Then I'll just believe it. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 911. Do you think the commander is a little angry? On the sea, Plymouth's expression was a little melancholy. Although she was far away from the port area, Qin Ji's calm expression before was still lingering in her mind. Maybe not. Although I haven't been with the commander for too long, I don't think the commander is such a stingy person, although the problem this time is indeed related to us, Azuma said softly. Why do you care about this? As long as we attack and win, isn't it enough? It doesn't matter whether we are angry or angry, is this important? Egil said indifferently. Hearing the constant low-pitched discussions coming from the communicator, Yuxian smiled and said, Haha, are you worried about the commander's attitude just now? Yes, Miss Yuxian, I remember that you and the commander often get along, so let me ask you, did we make the commander angry today? Plymouth asked quickly. Not only her, but other scientific research ships also looked at it. Yuxian. Yuxian smiled and said, you're not angry. You can take the commander's previous words as a reminder. Reminder, everyone was stunned. That's right, our commander is actually a very peaceful person. This ship girl will feel this way as long as she stays in the port area for a while, Yuxian said with a smile. Soviet Belarus laughed. What Yuxian said is correct. Although sometimes Comrade Commander doesn't know how to express his feelings, most of the time, Comrade Commander is working very hard to let us feeling happy. Haha, I agree with this. The commander is surprisingly clumsy sometimes. But I heard from Amagi that the current commander is much better than before. Ji smiled. All the ship girls summoned before left. Each of them had good memories with Qin Ji. It could be seen that Qin Ji had indeed put a lot of effort into this aspect. So actually you don't need to worry at all, let me tell you this. The commander has been very busy recently. He has been in the office most of the time and has never even come out. He only has a little free time at night. The reason for all this is because of the upcoming war. In fact, both the commander and the senior leaders of several camps are paying attention to this matter at all times. When people are anxious, they sometimes lose control of their emotions. In fact, it seems that our commander's emotions have been controlled very well. The most important thing I said today is to remind you that if he said such things because he was angry, I would never believe it, because when he is angry, he will definitely not like this. Yuxian said. Ms. Yuxian, have you ever seen the commander look angry? Azuma asked doubtfully. No. Yuxian shook his head, our commander is a good man. It can be said that no one in the port area has ever seen him angry. No one has ever seen the commander look angry. All the scientific research ships were a little surprised. Even the very aloof Bailong couldn't help but look at him sideways. What Miss Yuxian said is true. My sister is also the first ship girl summoned by the commander. She has been following the commander for a long time, and she has never seen the commander get angry during normal chats. Albion said. I think this is quite understandable. Didn't the commander say it in the lecture hall yesterday? He comes from other worlds, and the bond established in this world is us. Perhaps it is because he cherishes this because of feelings, that's why you don't get angry with us normally, Azuma said. There is indeed such a reason. Anyway, no matter what, let us prove our strength to the commander with a gorgeous battle. This will also make him more gratified, Yuxian said. Filong, who was following not far behind everyone, couldn't help but grinned when he heard these communications. But despite this, her expression softened. After a period of driving, everyone finally discovered the location of the stronghold. The next battle was basically uneventful. Although these ship girls had never experienced battles with agents, they had more combat experience in their bones. Within a short time of the battle starting, they had already grasped the rhythm of the battle, so the battle went very smoothly. After eliminating the two agents here, everyone, under the command of Yuxian, took away all the things that could be taken away from the stronghold. After all, these were resources for them and could not be wasted. When everyone returned to the port area again, it was already past 3 in the morning. They didn't have much expectations for Qin Ji's previous words that he would welcome them back. After all, it was already this time, and his commander had already worked hard all day, so it was natural for him to take a rest early. And when they jumped onto the pier, they clearly saw a familiar figure waiting for them under the lights of the port. Commander, Plymouth said in surprise. Welcome back, it seems that you have successfully completed the task. Qin Ji smiled, but under the light, it was obvious that his expression was a little tired. Commander, haven't you slept all this time? Yuxian hurried over and said to Qin Ji. Not yet. Didn't I say that I would wait for you to come back? So even if it is later, I still have to fulfill my promise. Otherwise, wouldn't I be too incompetent as a commander? Qin Ji smiled and said, it's just that it's a bit hard to keep Belfast with me. Belfast on the side smiled helplessly, the master himself has not rested. How can I, as a maid, take a rest? But having said that, now that everyone has returned, can the master rest assuredly? Qin Ji smiled and said, we have already waited for this time. There is no rush. Such a short time? As the flagship this time, Yuxian should report to me the battle situation first, and then the rest of the people should go back and rest. Commander, why don't you go and take a rest now? I'll submit the battle report to you personally after I've compiled it tomorrow, Yuxian said with some distress. Is this appropriate? Qin hesitated. I don't think there's anything inappropriate. It's already 3 o'clock in the morning, so as long as the battle report is submitted today, it's not too late. Let's go and have a rest. And if you don't go to rest now, do you think they can sleep? Are you here? Fi Long came over and said. Qin smiled and said, okay, that's what I said. Then let's go back to the dormitory and rest together. As for the battle, let's wait until we wake up. By the way, Belfast, remember to notify the maid team tonight to prepare for the celebration banquet. Yes, Commander. I understand, Master. My ship girl, my world. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 912. In the blink of an eye, New Year's Day has arrived. There are colorful balloons everywhere in the port area, and they are very gorgeously decorated. And in order to welcome the holidays from Christmas to New Year's Day, even Kanyang Academy has been on vacation for a while. However, as the busiest person in the port area, Qin does not have such a holiday treatment, unless Siren stops all activities during this period. That is obviously somewhat impossible, but the world is full of impossibilities. Just after completing the file processing today, Qin received a notice from the patrol team. I understand, just bring her to my office, Qin said as he put down the phone. Huh? What happened? Why did the patrol call you? Egil stood next to Qin and said with some confusion. Qin raised his eyes and glanced at Egil. It's a good thing. The purifier is here again. Eh? Why is it a good thing for the purifier to come over? Aren't we enemies of the Sirens? Egil was a little stunned. To be precise, we and the Sirens are rivals, because we want to protect the interests of human survival, but the Sirens have to compete for these interests. Beyond that, do we have any blood feud with the Sirens? Are there any necessary conditions for war? Qin asked with a smile. Tisk, I thought you were a very just person, but I didn't realize it. Egil smiled at Qin. Justice and evil always only exist based on the position you stand on, so there is no absolute justice, and there is no absolute evil. Qin put away the document and said, just like humans eating fish, for humans, eating fish can to fill the stomach, then eating fish is just. But for fish, it is very evil and cruel for humans to eat fish. So there is no absolute justice and evil on both sides of the scale, neither do we, nor do the Sirens. Force is just the last resort in the struggle for interests. The sea does not belong to a certain species, it belongs to nature and the earth itself. From the perspective of humans, then the ownership of the sea belongs to humans, but from the perspective of the Siren, then the ownership of the sea belongs to her. Just like us and the Sirens, if we fight, we are our opponents. If we can stay together calmly, then maybe we can become friends. Moreover, during the period when you did not come to the port area, the purifier has been living in the port area for nearly half a year. Ha, that's interesting. Are you afraid that humans will nail you to the pillar of shame? Egil said with a smile. Qin smiled. Other camps know about the purifier, but do you see what they are saying now? When you have absolute strength, what you say is the truth. Since the truth is in your hands, are you still afraid of history? And isn't history written by the victors? Haha, you are really arrogant when you speak in this tone, but these words are quite right. History is originally written by the victors. As for the losers, they have to face the torture of history, Jill said with a smile. Putting down the documents in his hands, Qin couldn't help but stretch. Speaking of which, today is your first day as a secretaryship. How do you feel about this time since you were summoned to the port area by me? How are you doing? Are you okay? Egil said. Originally, Frederick was planning to let me go to the experimental site, but I don't have her temperament to calm down and do scientific research. I still prefer to stay in Hong Kong area, because you can get into combat at any time here. But speaking of fighting, since the last time I went to conquer the agent's stronghold, it's been a long time since I attacked. When will the iron-blooded round defense be launched? How about letting me pass? Qin Ji rolled his eyes. You know that's impossible. So far, have you ever seen me send out that legendary level ship girl to defend her? The mass-produced fleets of the Siren faction can originally be solved by ordinary ships. You are the decisive battle plan and are born for the ultimate battle. If I just send you out for those small fights, then if there is a real battle, it would be a pity to miss it. That's true, but the current port area is a little too peaceful and harmonious. Although I know you are busy every day, we are really free, Egil said. It doesn't matter. It's New Year's Day soon. There will also be some celebrations in the port area. You can also participate if you have time, Qin Ji said with a smile. Oh, compared to the activities in the port area on New Year's Day, I am more concerned about what Prince Eugen told me before. She said that as your secretary ship, after the daily work is completed, if it is not time to rest, can I go on a date with you? Of course, I'm not thinking about going on a date with you, but it's just weird to hear something like this. Is that really the case? Egil asked. Qin Ji touched his nose and said, when I had nothing to do in the past, I would accompany them after I was free from work. But such a thing does happen, and there is nothing to hide it. Haha, and I also heard that you have many wedding ships now, Egil smiled. There are indeed quite a few, but most of them are exclusive ships with signed contracts. There are not many who have actual relationships with wives, Qin Ji said with some embarrassment. Then let me ask you, do you have any thoughts about me? Haha, you have to tell the truth, Egil asked with a smile. Why do you always like to ask questions like this? Qin Ji said speechlessly, and isn't the answer obvious? As a commander, if you don't have any ideas about your own ship girl, what kind of commander would you be? Haha, you really don't hide it. A hint of blush flashed on Egil's face. Do you like to see the violent side of the sea? That is a turbulent ocean mixed with storms. But I don't think this ocean can swallow me, Qin Ji smiled. Oh? That's possible, Egil raised his eyebrows. Qin Ji smiled, stood up and approached Egil, hugging her suddenly when she looked at her in surprise. This kind of action made Egil a little overwhelmed. How dare you? What's wrong with that? Do you really think I'm an innocent boy? Qin Ji smiled, so don't provoke me at will. Now I can really do some practical things. As he spoke, Qin Ji blew hot air on Egil's red side face, causing the blush on his face to spread to his ears. Hey, you're still here, Egil was a little anxious. Haha, Qin Ji smiled and let go of her. Actually, I think you are quite cute like this. You are straightforward and confident with a hint of arrogance, which is completely different from the arrogance of Haman and Hipper. Tisk, how did I find out that you? Before Egil finished speaking, there was a knock on the door of the office. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 913. Enterprise opened the door and came in. She was stunned for a moment when she saw Egil's rosy face and Qin Ji standing beside her. Did I come at the wrong time? Qin Ji smiled and said, it's not the right time. We didn't do anything shameful. Enterprise smiled and said, if the commander really did something like that, then the other people in the port area who are watching helplessly will be happy to death. Qin Ji grinned, you've started teasing me now, can we still play together in a friendly way? Haha, what a joke, I came here with news, Enterprise said to Qin Ji. News? About the purifier, Qin Ji asked doubtfully, the patrol has just informed me of this news. They are now on their way back with the purifier. If it is this news, it will be fine. No, I asked them to report to you personally about the patrol matter, because I think with the commander's temperament, he will definitely agree to it, so this is not a very important matter, Enterprise said. Then what else is important? Shin-Ji was a little confused. According to the news we just received, the new ship equipment replacement plan has made a breakthrough, the company said to Shin-Ji. Shin-Ji was stunned. The new decoration and replacement plan, isn't this the plan that Helena of Ember had proposed before? Helena from our port area will implement it with her? Logically speaking, if they have achieved any results, shouldn't they? Why don't you come and report? I'll ask you to come and report. I'm not saying that your reporting is bad, I'm just saying that it's not your responsibility at all. Enterprise smiled. I understand, but this time it's about my sisters, so I'm more concerned about this matter. Sisters? Shin-Ji asked doubtfully. York City and Bumblebee. Yes, the commander also knows that our ships are now evolved from battleships. The York City and the Hornet sank in the battle for some reasons, but their will did not die. Instead, it was gained in the Essex class. Rebirth. So following this concept, Helena experimented with my older sister and younger sister using Essex-class ship uniforms, and found that they could indeed adapt to Essex-class ship uniforms. Commander, do you know what this means? The company was a little excited. Shin-Ji narrowed his eyes. Do you think you can transform into an Enterprise-level company in the future? Enterprise was stunned for a moment, then laughed. Commander is really good at making connections. It would be best if that could really happen, but it's not the case. Shin-Ji smiled and said, okay, I know, it represents some of the ships that were sunk in World War II and World War I. As long as there is a ship that inherits the name of the ship after him, ships can be transformed into each other. Just like your sister, Yorktown, sister Bumblebee, and of course Lexington. Yes, that's it, Enterprise nodded. So how long will it take to develop it so that York City and the others can complete the conversion? Shin-Ji asked. It's not clear at the moment, it's just that a breakthrough has been made, and specific results have to wait, the company said. Okay, then I understand this matter. By the way, please inform Helena and ask her to write a report on the implementation of this technology. Then estimate the application time of this technology and submit it to me in the form of a document tomorrow. Shin-Ji nodded and said. Understood, I'll do it right away. After the company finished speaking, he left Shin-Ji's office with excitement. At this time, Egil from the side walked up. Why do you feel that the company today has changed a lot from before? Isn't she usually known for her calmness and decisiveness? Shin-Ji smiled. No matter how calm and decisive people are, there is a soft place in their hearts, and for the company, that place is my sister York City and my sister Bumblebee, and of course I am there now. When she first learned about this matter, it was obviously not something she was responsible for, but she couldn't wait to come to me and share this information with me. She was very touched. Oh, but as a fleet commander, you are very powerful in controlling your subordinates, Egil said. Shin-Ji rolled his eyes at her. What's the art of guarding my subordinates? It's just that I treat each other with sincerity, and others treat me with sincerity. As I said in the lecture hall before, everyone in the port area is your companion, but the premise is that you have to treat them with the same eyes as your companions, then they are your companions. Okay, you're right, Egil smiled. Tisk, you are going to get your own back no matter what, right? Shin-Ji couldn't help being amused by Egil's attitude. I didn't say that, Egil smiled. Then go organize the documents. Don't forget, you are the secretaryship. Shin-Ji laughed. However, Egil's face fell, while Shin-Ji laughed. The two of them were in the situation where you mocked me and I teased you, until the purifier knocked on the door. Hey, Commander Shin-Ji, did you miss me? The purifier said with a smile. Qin Ji rolled his eyes, so this time you are here to celebrate New Year's Day. Bingo. You're right, the purifier said with a smile. By the way, aren't you planning a surprise attack on those other camps during New Year's Day? Qin Ji asked. As sirens, we also need to rest, okay. Although we can work all the time, we have to relax, right? The purifier said helplessly. Hey, your job is really special. Qin Ji couldn't help but laugh. So how long will the ceasefire last? Will it last until the spring festival? Oh, I see, you want to summon the fleets from other camps back, right? The purifier immediately reacted and said to Qin Ji. Yes, I guess there will definitely be a war after the new year. It may even be the last year our fleet spends in this port area. I hope everyone can keep some memories, Qin Ji said with a smile. The purifier was stunned for a moment, but he immediately responded, your current fleet is so strong, is it too unreasonable to worry about? Not to mention that there are still so many embers in your port area. Even if we want to fight, we can't. I can't beat you. Haha, I know how much my fleet weighs, and I have a pretty good idea of the overall shape. Qin Ji looked at the purifier, so without further ado, will there be a battle this year? If not, I will withdraw my fleet now. Well, the best I can do is get you spring, the purifier said. Oh, interesting, then you can stay in my port area until the Chinese New Year, Qin Ji said. Okay, it's settled then. My ship girl, my world. Author, Huangming Mu. Chapter 914. Today's weather is sunny and mild. It's really a day suitable for relaxation, Veneto said comfortably while drinking tea. Indeed, but this is all thanks to Guanghui. Not only did he prepare black tea, but he also prepared some green tea and green tea. It was really thoughtful, Jinhai said with a smile. Yeah, but I'm a little confused about today's invitation lineup. For a normal tea party in Guanghui, people from Hood or the royal family are usually invited. At most, people from White Eagle, Iris, or Sardinia are invited. Why are they invited today? Me, the iron-blooded one, Prince Eugene put down the teacup in his hand and looked at the smiling Guanghui. And the people present are basically the top leaders of each camp, or leaders, and there are no duplicates. I don't think today's tea party is just that simple. Hey, is that so? Enterprise looked at Guanghui with some doubts. Haha, you are indeed Prince Eugene. Now that you have discovered it, there is no need for me to hide it, Guanghui said with a smile. So Guanghui, you really have something to bring us together, Soviet Rosia asked doubtfully. Haha, what makes Miss Guanghui so interested is probably something related to the Lord Magi said with a smile. That's right, I'm inviting you here today because it's about Commander. The smile on Guanghui's face gradually disappeared. This disappearance made everyone a little confused. Prince Eugene said, I remember that the commander is in the office now, and beside him is Egil. He has turned into a ship with the help of the commander. Is there anything? Unsafe place? It's not about this. The port area is very safe now, and I believe you won't object. I called you here this time because I want to combine the power of our 9 camps to hold a New Year's paradise party in our port area. Guanghui announced his purpose very simply. The New Year paradise party, is it about the commander? Veneto was confused. I understand. Tiancheng smiled and took a sip of tea. Guanghui means that the Lord has been very busy recently. I hope we can do something together and give the Lord some surprises. Guanghui's eyes lit up. She is indeed Miss Magi whom the commander often praises. She is really discerning. The commander has been very busy recently. Although he always takes time to chat with us and accompany us in the evening, I can always feel the tiredness in his eyes. He has done too much for our port area. There are some things that he did not need to arrange, but we have become accustomed to his arrangements. Just like we are used to the surprises he gives us, we never seem to think about when to give him a surprise. I feel that as his wedding ship, I have to do something, so I invited you this time, who are also his wedding ship. I wanted to refute Miss Guanghui's words, but suddenly I thought it was like this. At some point, I seemed to have become accustomed to the commander taking the initiative. All surprises and all expectations turned into hope, and I suddenly felt like a young girl. Same. Haha, this feeling is really not good. But it is true that as a wedding ship, we have to take the initiative. Since we can't help the commander at work at the moment, let's give him some surprises so that his busy spirit can have a moment of leisure. This is our purpose. Richelieu said. I agree. I have been running to the office more times in the past 2 days. Every time I go there, I can see that the commander is working hard and has little chance to relax. So Guanghui, what are you going to do, and how do you want us to help you? The company said. I think we should mobilize all the people in Hong Kong and gather everyone's strength to arrange this New Year garden party. Just like I heard from the commander before, when you went to Chongqing, the Chongqing camp arranged the festival with you, same Guanghui said while looking at Tiancheng and the company. I think such a New Year garden party is indeed very grand. If so, the Lord will definitely be surprised. But if the whole Hong Kong is mobilized, is this a bit too much, and the Lord will easily discover it, Magi said. I think it's possible. Haven't you noticed that lately the commander is basically working in the office and in the dormitory? Even for patrols, it's just the secretary ship who goes there in person, and doesn't go back to the room until very late. So as long as the rest of us don't report what's happening in the port area to the commander, he basically doesn't know. Zhenhai narrowed his eyes and smiled. Tisk, I also see the feasibility, Soviet Rosia said, but what about the materials for the New Year garden party? All logistical supplies in the port area and the whereabouts of arrears require the personal signature of Comrade Commander, Kitchen Goddess. It will be released there. Unless they are some combat readiness resources that can be used at any time, do you think we need to use those combat readiness materials? Ha, so Rosia, you didn't guess Guanghui's intention of inviting the company. Prince Eugene laughed. The relationship between the Kitchen Goddess and the company is very good. Although this involves some principled issues, but it's also for the commander's sake, so I think the company must have a way to ask the Kitchen Goddess to hold down the documents until everything is completed before submitting them to the commander, right? Well, if you do that, the Kitchen Goddess will be angry, the company said awkwardly. I'm just angry, nothing more, Prince Eugene said lightly. Okay, leave it to me to find the Kitchen Goddess. Hearing Prince Eugene say this, the company nodded helplessly. He, the most important financial guarantee is secured, then the next step is to choose the venue, Veneto said with a smile. Anyway, it must not be in the port area, otherwise the commander will become suspicious if he moves too much, Guanghui said. Then how about choosing the outer port area? Isn't there a large open space near the Canyang Academy? We can definitely put the venue there. Anyway, it is relatively far from the office building. Even if the movement is bigger, the commander can't hear the sound either, Zhenhai said. Kenmei Academy is Mikasa-senpai's place. I'll let her know when the time comes. I'm sure she will be very interested, Magi said with a smile. Then the venue, personnel, and funds are now in place, and now it's time to prepare. I hope everyone can manage the ship girls in their respective camps well, and while the surface remains the same as usual, the other side can quickly take action. After all, there is not much time left until the spring festival, said Soviet Rosia. Yes, I think we can ask Mikasa-senpai to apply for a classroom for us in the future. We can use the classroom as a temporary office and adjust our plans at any time according to the situation, Magi smiled. Then what is the code name for this operation? New Year Fun Park, Veneto said with a smile. Guanghui glanced at everyone and said, for Commander. That's right, for the Commander.